Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Hopefully that all worked. Just trying to finalize getting everything set up here. Welcome to this live stream. This was a bit of an impromptu sort of live stream Q&A type thing. I was going to write up a post all about some stuff I wanted to talk about, recapping last year, talking about what's coming up next year, and then I figured it's easier to just hop on here and talk about it instead of doing a bunch of writing. So some stuff that I really want to chat about today is I want to talk about my wardrobe, what's been going on with my capsule wardrobe the last couple of years really, and what's been happening here on the channel, why I haven't been super active on YouTube, and my plans for 2022, what's coming up. I would love to hear your guys' feedback on a lot of stuff. And also, of course, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Let me know and we can have a nice little conversation about stuff. Really, you can ask whatever, but yeah, I'm going to be chatting about a whole bunch of random things. I guess to get started, welcome to my little cozy fireplace space. I just threw another couple logs on the fire, so it's going back there. I guess another reason too why I wanted to do a live stream is because between COVID cases and the weather, we've been cooped up for like 10 days, maybe longer. It's been -30, sometimes even like up to -40, sometimes -50 degrees Celsius with wind chill here the last, more than a week. So we haven't really done anything. We haven't really gone outside or seen people so I definitely have a little bit of cabin fever just because of how cold it's been. Today's actually the nicest day we've had in a very long time. Sorry, I think I just hit my mic. But yeah, so it's another reason to kind of come online and have a little chat with people. Also, I just feel like there's a lot to catch up on with my channel and everything. Ben's just telling me that my necklace is hitting the mic. I'll try to avoid that. If it is, just let me know, though hopefully that doesn't make a lot of noise. But yeah, so I guess we'll kind of jump into, this is I want to show you guys my very cute little tea mug. I'm just going to be sipping some tea, staying nice and cozy here. I actually just changed my shirt because I was wearing my sweater before, and I realized that I'm going to get way too hot sitting here right in front of the fire. But I'm going to have a little bit of tea. This was my Christmas gift. It's a mug it's from a company down in Calgary who makes the most adorable mugs. And I was going to get one of their animal mugs. I've wanted one of their mugs for ages. But then right before Christmas, they had these limited edition monsters. And I had to get one. So this is what Ben got me as an early Christmas gift because I wanted one of their mugs for a couple of years now. It's just so cute. It's so cute. I still can't get over it. I use it multiple times a day for my tea, and every time I'm just like, it's so cute. Anyways, so yeah, let me know if you guys have anything in particular you want me to touch on. Other than that, okay, so I've got a little tiny list of things that I for sure want to talk about. One of them is my capsule wardrobe and what's been going on with my capsule wardrobe and with my just like wardrobe, sustainable fashion purchases in general. Because this year, especially, I have really had to change my wardrobe more than I typically do. And I've had to get, I think, more pieces this year, like add in more new pieces to my wardrobe than I've had to do in a year in a really long time. Due to like just weight fluctuations, body changes. I know a lot of us have gone through weight fluctuations and body changes during the pandemic, and I guess, I'm not supposed to say pandemic online. Oh, oops. I don't know if that accounts for live videos as well, but anyways, yeah, I know a lot of us have gone through body changes and also just being at home all the time. I don't feel the same desire, I guess, to get dressed up and to put together cute outfits because I'm just like hanging out at home with my toddler, with my husband. I tend to just default to kind of like sweats, leggings, panini. Okay. Thanks for the tip. Yeah, so I tend to just wear comfy clothes all the time. And so I felt very uninspired. Hi, welcome. I felt very uninspired by my wardrobe. And that's something that I really want to change in the new year and like push myself a bit more to do some more styling with my clothes and get a little bit more comfortable with my clothes and playing around with them because so to go back to kind of like weight fluctuations and weight changes, thank you. This is one of my favorite pieces and I don't get to wear it very often in the winter because it's generally too cold, but if I'm sitting right in front of a fire, it's fantastic. But I have been layering it too, which has been nice. But so I guess to give you guys some context, from 2.5 years ago, in the last, about 2.5 years, I've gone from like being pregnant to being like the smallest I've ever been. Because my daughter got really sick, we spent over a month in the hospital, and then I was on a super restrictive allergen elimination diet because my daughter had really bad allergies while I was breastfeeding. And so, I was on like this very, very restrictive diet, and I very unhealthily lost a lot of weight because of that. And the whole thing was really stressful, and living in the hospital, it's like impossible to eat well. So I went from that to then the last year or so, I guess over the last year, to gaining weight and moving up. So I went from like a size small to a size large about. And now luckily a lot of my pieces are more flexible, more oversized or adjustable or stretchy. And that was something that I intentionally did when I chose those pieces, is I was looking for pieces that would be good for weight fluctuations, weight changes, just normal like everyday stuff that we go through. But because my size did change so much, I've really had to get rid of a lot of pieces. Not get rid of, I have them in storage, and that's something I'm still deciding what to do with, but introduce a lot more new pieces, I guess, to my wardrobe, and pieces that hopefully are going to last through more body changes. But that's been a big it's just been like a very new thing for me, I guess, because if you guys have followed me for a while, you've seen I've spent a lot of time really building up a wardrobe of clothing that I love and investing in these pieces that I think are just beautiful and really special, and pieces that, I plan to wear for years and years and years. And I've put so much time and energy into doing that then having those pieces no longer fit me has been challenging and has definitely been a bit frustrating, and just something that I have had to deal with a bit more. And now that I've, I guess, replaced some of those pieces with pieces that fit me better, that's been really great. Not only am I more comfortable, but it just feels better to like style and wear pieces that actually fit you. But there is a little bit of like heartbreak having some of those pieces that I love so much and not being able to wear them, and having pieces that were really like staple items in my wardrobe. But luckily, in general, a lot of my pieces have been really flexible and really comfortable and good to wear, which has been great. But I guess that's all to say that my approach to capsule wardrobes, and I guess my desire to style more clothes and play around with clothing and really get creative with my capsule wardrobe, which is something I used to love doing. I just like have not been feeling that the last year especially. But I want to, it's a challenge that I have for myself for the new year, is to play around with clothes and, excuse me. Sorry, is to just have more fun with my wardrobe. And even if we're still home a lot, I still want to, I don't know, just play around with my clothes and have fun and not just like default to like comfy, casual around the house clothes. And not saying there's anything wrong with that. Like I love a good sweatshirt and leggings combination. I wear that most of the time. But I think when the opportunities are there to just have fun and yeah, kind of like rethink a lot of the pieces in my capsule wardrobe. Like these pants, for example, this was so fun. So I got these pants in November, I believe. I don't know, you guys can't see them really well. It was actually a set that I got from Tamga. So there's these like flowy printed pants, and they came with I also have like a printed blouse in the same print. And I specifically wanted a set because I love that kind of like jumpsuit look, but with two pieces you can do a faux jumpsuit, but then it also gives you like so many options to mix and match with your wardrobe. So getting this set just was like so fun to play around with them. I did a little Instagram post about it, just showing a few different ways or like mix and matching it with my capsule wardrobe. And it really got me inspired again to like have some fun, get some color in my wardrobe, get some interesting pieces, play around with wearing them, tying them, styling them different ways. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. Hi, oh, Berlin, I miss Berlin. I hope you guys are all staying warm wherever you are. I'm sure everywhere is not like minus 30 like it's here now. So yeah, I guess that's all to say that I'm really excited for my wardrobe in 2022. Oh, that's weird to say. I'm feeling a lot more comfortable with the clothes I have. I have more clothes that actually fit me. I have good layers. I figured out, what in my wardrobe is stuff that I'm just like putting away in storage for now, and what are more like key pieces, just what I'm comfortable in, what's good for my day-to-day life. And that's been great. But I think this also highlights that, I've been doing a capsule wardrobe for, this summer it'll be like 9 years. Because I think I started doing my first capsule wardrobe in 2013. So yeah, I've been doing capsule wardrobes for a very long time, but like you never really fully figure it out. Like I've definitely got a good system down, but things change. Life changes, your lifestyle changes, your needs change, maybe your job changes. And then of course, bodies change all the time. So I think like, don't, I guess, be intimidated or frustrated if you're newer to a capsule wardrobe and struggling with things and struggling to get stuff sorted out, because it's always a learning process and you're always learning from the previous season, and you just have to keep adapting as life changes and as you change and your needs change. So that's just like a period that I've been working through this last year, is just figuring out the direction of my capsule wardrobe and what works well for me. And so what are some good coat or boot brands for the fall and winter? That's a good question. I have a blog post. You can check it on my blog. If you search like winter, it's like sustainable and stylish clothes for winter. I've got a list of coats, and I've got a few boot brands as well. Boots, like really good winter boots, are tricky to find. There's a couple sustainable brands that do like warmer boots. There's one, Bahava, out of the US, and there's like Thesis as well. They have like sort of a hiking boot style that's insulated, which is warmer, but the only brand that I've found that actually makes like Canadian winter boots is Kamik, and they've got a bunch of different styles. They make vegan boots, they also have non-vegan boots. But yeah, they've got tons of different boot styles. They have some more sustainable things going on. They're definitely not like a top tier sustainable brand, but I think they are doing some better things. But they're one of the few brands that I found that actually makes like really good, heavy duty winter boots. Like my boots that I have from them are rated to -40. So, and they're like very durable, good quality boots. So yeah, that would be my recommendation if you need boots like that. If you just want like warmer boots, there's more brands that offer that. But for the thick of winter, I guess. You have their boots too? Yeah, they're good. And I found them to be definitely some of the better quality options out there. But yeah, winter coats and boots are tricky. But definitely check out that post. I don't know if I don't really have a way to easily link it, but if you just head to my blog, mygreencloset.com, and search winter in the search bar, it should pop up, and there's lots of coat information and stuff too. I use secondhand coats too. Like I've gotten almost all my coats, I think for the last year or so, I've gotten them all secondhand, and that's a fantastic way to pick up winter coats. Although I did order a new coat. I think this is like my first new coat that I've had in a really long time. I'm trying to think. It hasn't arrived yet. I ordered a coat from a company called Frank and Oak. They're a Canadian company. I've been looking for a really nice wool coat, and I was looking for something secondhand, but this is a recycled wool coat, which I was really excited to see. And it's like a very long, sort of stylish plaid beige. I'll share it with you guys when it arrives, as long as it fits and everything. And it was on a really good sale. And I've been looking for something very similar to that for quite a while. So I decided to order it, and hopefully it all works out well, because yeah, I think it's a really beautiful coat. And it's like, I've got a very practical, I guess, winter coat. It'd be nice to have something that's a little bit more stylish and fun. And my other wool coat that I have is getting a little bit, I think Ben just shared it. Thank you for sharing the link. Ben just shared the link to the winter post. But yeah, so I hope that winter coat works out well, because I think it's for me, I think a good winter coat, and one that you really like, just that like sort of is the cornerstone of any kind of winter outfit, because you're always sticking a coat on top. So I think having some good coats that you really like are really good. Another good question. So gained weight after childbirth, keep or toss or donate or sell the old clothes. This is exactly what I'm currently deciding. So initially I sort of like broke my clothes down into different piles, I suppose. So all the clothes that didn't fit me, and I think this is a good thing to do with any clothes that you're maybe thinking of getting rid of or that you aren't sure about, or just like when you're decluttering in general. So there was the clothes that I loved, like these are pieces that I just absolutely loved wearing and was heartbroken about them not fitting. Then just sort of like pieces that I was kind of undecided about. It's like they maybe work really well in some cases, but in other cases, like I guess I just didn't have the same love for them. And then there was the other pieces that worked well in my wardrobe, but maybe were either, very easily replaceable, or were just pieces that were more filler pieces, I guess, to create other outfits or basics, stuff like that. So pieces, I guess, that I wouldn't be too upset about getting rid of. So I sort of broke them down into those 3 piles, and that was kind of the duration that I hung on to items. So the pieces that I didn't really care too much about and wouldn't be too heartbroken if they were gone, I think I held on to those. It was tricky because my weight did change so much and like dropped so drastically and then went up. So I did hang on to them a bit longer than maybe I guess I initially intended to, because, but I would say I probably like 6 months or so, but whatever works for you, of course. But just my thinking is like maybe hold on to those pieces for about 6 months or so, maybe even up to a year. It really depends on how you feel in your body, if you want to hold on to them or not. Like there's so many different thoughts around those, but I would say those pieces get rid of first. Then the middle pieces, the ones that you're like maybe would like to hang on to, but they're a bit like undecided, kind of hard to get rid of, but also maybe not pieces you love. Those are pieces that I would pack away. And always a really good test, this is a fantastic test if you're decluttering anything, is to pack away items in a box, put them away, and then months later, maybe like 3 or 4 months later, go to that box and try to remember what you have in that box. Because if you can't remember those pieces, they probably aren't things that you need to hang on to, right? They're probably not things that mean too much to you or that, you know, were exceptionally great in your life or anything like that. So those pieces, anything that you can't remember from the box, that's a great time to get rid of those, donate them. Definitely sell pieces if you have pieces that are in really good shape. I prefer, okay, it's a little tricky. If you sell clothes, you know that they're going to somebody who is very likely going to use them because it's going directly to another person. If you donate clothes, it can get lost in the secondhand cycle, which has some not great things going on in it. So, but then again, I don't know, if they're really good quality pieces and you donate it, that's also good because it can offer better quality pieces in the secondhand market. It's up to you, I guess. Do whatever you feel like is a better thing for you, but do be careful. I guess, well, definitely don't donate stuff that's poor quality or that has rips or holes or anything that makes it unsellable or less desirable in some way. Try to make sure those go to textile recycling as best as you can, because if those go into the secondhand market, they're much more likely to become garbage instead of being recycled. So, but yeah, good quality pieces, selling is a great option. Donating typically is a great option as well. Maybe just do a little bit more research into where you're donating it to and what they typically do with stuff. But yeah, so that's my system. And then I still have the pieces that pieces that I love so much. I still have them away in storage. And I'm deciding how much longer I want to hang on to them, what I want to do with them. I don't know yet. So I will figure that out. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough to let go of things that you really love and that you really, I guess, got a lot of wear from, have a lot of memories and that kind of stuff. So I'm still a bit stuck on them, but I have them packed away in a closet in my room over there. Yeah. So, okay. So some other things, and that's, kind of tying into your question. Thank you. What type of content am I working on in the new year? So let's chat about that. So, I'm laughing just because I'm like thinking about how exactly I want to word this. So something that I've, like, we're going to take a step back a little bit. Something that I've struggled a lot with in the past, since I've been started on YouTube, but especially lately, is this balancing act of creating content and talking about topics that I think are really important, stuff that I really want to discuss, with the content that people want to consume and the stuff that gets traffic and gets clicks. And I think anybody who sort of has created content or is in journalism or something kind of understands this dilemma. Is the stuff that gets clicks is like really shocking stuff, like you'll never believe this, or like 5 top tips for this, or the 10 best whatever. Like, it's very consumer driven content often, or stuff that's like very searchable or very shocking, or that kind of stuff. And I've always really struggled to make content like that. It's it's not how I guess my brain thinks. Like I'm not, I guess, that good in terms of really marketing stuff. And it's been frustrating because I will make pieces that I have put a lot of time into researching and a lot of energy into making, that I think are about really important topics, but people don't necessarily want that. Like they want, and of course I'm talking about like people in general. There's definitely some people that for sure want that kind of content and are interested in it, but people typically don't want to come on and learn about some really depressing fact about the fashion industry. They want to just know where to buy something that's better, and that's fine. Like I totally understand that. You know, I'm definitely in that same boat too sometimes, where it's like, this is a lot and I don't want to think about all this right now. And you just want that little piece of information as to how you can maybe do something better. So that's something that I've been struggling with for a long time. But I think this is all to kind of say that I think I've found a way to really balance that well. And I want to produce things like roundups, because I know they're really helpful for people. Like even though they are very, I guess, consumption focused, they are really helpful, because if you're out there and you're searching for sustainable bras, or you're searching for, winter coats or whatever it is, right? And me being able to provide a resource that allows somebody to go on there and see brands that have kind of been vetted and, I've done my research on and stuff, and just have everything in one place. You don't have to scour the internet for it. I totally understand that that's helpful. So I want to keep producing content like that, and doing more reviews and stuff, which are helpful to people. But then I really do want to find that balance of also being able to put time into creating content that is more research, that's more like deep dive content, that's a bit more talking about the complexities and the nuances of the industry. But yeah, like I guess I've really been struggling to find that balance. And on YouTube especially, it's so obvious when videos don't perform well, the algorithm isn't interested in them, that it's discouraging, because you put a lot of energy into content and nobody, like the algorithm doesn't, not that nobody cares, the algorithm doesn't put it out there. So the people that do actually maybe want to see it don't get it. And instead it's, I guess less interesting content than I maybe would like to make. So I'm going to wrap up that thought, but I do want to come quickly back into a couple questions. I really want to emphasize your point. Yeah, if you wouldn't buy it, don't donate it. Definitely. That's such a good point. Like, if it's not in a condition to buy, yeah. Okay, textile recycling. If there is no easily accessible place to drop off textile recycling, there's a lot more textile recycling models that are coming up. Contact or check whatever the city has in terms of recycling info. And what I would really recommend doing is actually contacting some of the places that accept secondhand clothes and ask if what they do with clothes that are unsellable, because they might have textile recycling channels that aren't publicly accessible, I guess, as like maybe dropping your stuff off somewhere. So that would be my best recommendation, is just to, contact the places that you would typically donate your clothes to and ask if they have any textile recycling connections or chains. Because very likely you will probably find some that do filter through textile recycling, and you can either then give your clothes to them or ask them, figure out if there's a way that you can give directly to the textile recycler. So that's I guess the best you can do if there isn't a very obvious textile recycling drop-off center or anything like that. It's tough. It's tough when there's a lot of like poor quality stuff. And that's why I struggle with the whole sell versus donate, because I think it's really good to have good quality stuff in, thrift stores and secondhand stores. But I also, obviously, if you're selling clothes, it gives you a bit more income to then invest in clothes. And it also ensures it's more likely to ensure that, well, somebody is buying it, right? And they're likely to use it. So it's tricky, but I try to do both. Like I sell some clothes, I donate some clothes, I kind of mix it up. Thank you. Yeah, I would love to do more thrift transformations, clothing transformations. They're so fun. I'm hoping to do a lot more sewing in the new year as well. I've got lots of sewing plans and things that I want to make. And of course, yeah, sorry, just to jump back into your question. Yeah, make rags, use your own clothes. I just made, because it's been so cold, I made like big draft stopper type things for a couple of our doors, just because they've been, it's been so cold. And I just stuffed it with like old clothes. So just made a long tube, basically, stuffed it with old clothes that we can put at the base of the door, which prevents a little bit of the cold air coming through. There's lots of different uses. So to kind of jump back into plans for 2022 and how I'm going to kind of balance this, because I don't have infinite time, right? Like I can't be spending, I don't know, like weeks and weeks researching and working on one piece of content. So what I'm going to be doing is bringing on more writers. I'm really excited about that. I worked with a few freelance writers last year and it was fantastic. And I'm looking to kind of change up how I work with freelance writers in the new year and have a bit more like set regular content and contracts. So if you are somebody who would be interested in writing for the blog, writing about sustainable fashion, let me know. I've got a page up on my blog. If you like scroll to the bottom, I think, of my website, there should be like a little jobs tab there, which has more information about the writing positions and the writers that I'm looking to hire. And that way, because it's always like a time versus like content thing, YouTube or like Google SEO, all that kind of stuff, they always want regular content. So me taking a month or so to work on like one piece of content doesn't really fit the kind of time that the internet wants you to produce content at. But I think it'll be really great to have more writers producing content, working on things like creating helpful roundups, creating helpful resource guides. One of my writers last year, for example, put together a guide all on different vegan leathers, what they are, what it means, the pros and cons of all of them. So things like that are hopefully just, really helpful pieces. So I think with having a larger team of writers and team of people to create content, that will really help me and allow me to work on some of the content that I've really been wanting to make. And just like find a good balance between that. So if you guys are interested in working or writing for my blog at all, definitely let me know and send me a message with your info. And you can check out the page on my website. Like I said, I want to create also more sewing content this year. I've got my social club, which is we do like a monthly live stream, kind of like a sew with me. It's sort of like this in that it's like a hangout and chat, but I usually do some kind of tutorial, or we did a drafting tutorial last month, or I guess that was in November. So I drafted along with everybody like a bodice block, so everyone could make their own bodice block for their sizes. And then we did like a follow-up fitting, and maybe we'll do more drafting. I don't know. It really depends if people are interested in doing more drafting, creating more blocks or like patterns to their own measurements. But typically we do sewing projects, and it's more just like a hangout, fun chat, have some company while you sew and work on projects. So in addition to that, I'm hoping to do a little bit more like thrift transformation or sewing stuff. I'll give you guys a quick update. I'm not sure if you remember, but in April last year, because it was like Fashion Revolution time last year, I was starting a challenge of creating an entirely locally. I just realized my fire is almost out. Hold on a second. I'll tell you guys about this. I have to go throw another log on my fire. Oh boy. Last year I started a challenge to try to make an entirely local outfit based on inspired by the, welcome to my fireplace, inspired by the fiber shed. Rebecca Burgess and her fiber shed challenge. And that was something I really wanted to do. And it's something I still really want to do, but the timing of it, I don't think I'm going to be able to do the whole thing by this fashion revolution, because I was going to give myself a year to do it. Just give me there we go. Nice and cozy again. Good, the fire didn't go out. Yeah, so that was just the timing of it didn't work out well because of COVID. It was really hard to get out to some of the places. I probably could have done it if I wasn't wanting to film. So I'm trying to think about what the timeline for that project will be. I might do another year because this spring and summer, I'm really hoping to be able to go and check out a lot of the local fiber options, go to some of the farms that are around, there's a wool processing mill. Sorry, let me, there's a wool processing mill just a few hours away from me. And I really want to go to a bunch of those places and film what that process is like and be able to share that, what it's like sourcing clothing that's hyper local, and hopefully finding some good dye options, very locally grown dye options. I've connected with one person who has their own dye garden in my city. So again, this is a spring, summer type thing. And last year, it just didn't work out to be able to film a lot of that. So I'm hoping this year that we're going to be able to do some more, not just sewing content, but also really dig into that kind of local production, fiber, extremely hyper local system, and be able to show you guys the pieces that I've kind of have some designs. I'm still not exactly sure yet. I think I'm going to use bison wool for one of them because I found this farm where they farm bison, but I was talking with the owner and she was saying that in the spring, all the bison rub their wool off on trees and stuff. And you can to get rid of their winter coats, and you can just collect it and spin it and turn it into things. And it's apparently quite nice wool. They sort of have two layers. One's, I guess, a bit more rough outer layer, but apparently the inner layer is really nice and soft. So I'm thinking, still haven't decided yet, but I'm hoping to go through the whole process of collecting the bison wool, washing it, spinning it, doing that whole thing. So no promises, but hopefully that'll be something that I get up to this year. And then I'll, of course, share with you the process and what it's like and how we make clothing super, super locally. I've never done anything like that, so it's also a bit intimidating where I just don't know everything that's going to be involved. But this summer I was able to do a lot of research and find some good options that hopefully will work out well. And then I'm also hoping to do a bit more gardening content if anyone's interested in that. Let me know if you would be interested in gardening content, because I'm in the process of changing our yard into a more sustainable, native plants, more permaculture, also doing some xeriscaping, which is very low water, drought tolerant, because last year especially we had a super hot summer and everything was really dry. We've switched our lawns, our back lawn, over to a clover bee turf lawn. So yeah, so I'm hoping to share a little bit more about that whole process and trying to make a more sustainable garden, more sustainable yard and lawn, and something that's a bit more biodiverse and encourages pollinators, all that kind of good stuff. That's been a really fun project to dive into, especially in these times when I'm home so much. So last summer that was a big thing, and I'm hoping to continue a lot of that this year as well. Yeah, I really hope that the bison wool works out. It is pretty cool. Hopefully it works out. And I'll share that with you guys. And then also, something that I quickly want to touch on is so like I said before, because I've found a lot of like producing content online to be challenging, in the way that I just don't feel like I can often share the things I want to share or talk about what I want to talk about, because of things like algorithms and stuff. I've gotten more into like looking at alternative ways that I can also do sort of fashion industry activism and get involved in just helping change things, helping improve things as best as I can. And that's been really good. I've gotten more involved in writing my politicians, and something that I started doing this fall is volunteering with Fashion Revolution Canada, which I'm very, very excited about, because I feel like that, I don't know, I was looking for some sort of way to do a bit more, and it's been a really cool opportunity. And so this is because right now the Fashion Revolution Canada team wasn't doing a ton, and they have like put together a larger team of people, and we've got lots of plans and goals and things that we want to do with bringing the fashion revolution movement to Canada, getting more people involved in Canada, getting brands involved, that whole kind of thing. I'm responsible for partnerships and programming, so working a lot with brands, NGOs, like other activists, just people in the industry, finding ways that we can spread the word, create change, all that good stuff. So that's been really fun, and I'm excited for our first Fashion Revolution Week as a team here in Canada, seeing what we can do. We're like brainstorming events that we can put on, and I'm really trying to find ways to just, amplify the message and the movement here in Canada. So that's been really rewarding. To kind of have that as a volunteer project, and as a way to, I guess, do a bit more activism work. I find it's tricky because we're at a point where, I think sustainable fashion and ethical fashion has become public knowledge. People know about it. People know about the waste that clothing is producing. People know about the working conditions. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, we still do need awareness. That's, of course, still important. But I think a lot of that baseline awareness that we didn't have 5 years ago, 10 years ago, that's changed a lot. And because a lot of people now know about these issues and are demanding better and are looking for better products and, asking companies questions, I feel like in the last, especially the last like maybe 3 or 4 years, it feels like there's been an explosion in greenwashing and in brands putting out these sustainable collections, or calling themselves sustainable when they use I saw a brand recently who was marketing themselves as a sustainable fashion brand, and I was reading through their information and looking at their products, and there was nothing that they were really doing except they were using bamboo. And then, so therefore they were saying, oh, we're a sustainable fashion brand because we're using bamboo fabric, which isn't that sustainable. And just, things like that, where they're just like, there wasn't anything else they were doing that I felt that they in any way could call themselves a sustainable fashion brand, but that's how they were marketing themselves. So because there's been so many more options on the market, so many brands are sustainable, it's made it really hard to kind of navigate that industry, especially as, a person who doesn't know a ton about what's good or bad or greenwashing. Like if you're just, trying to do a bit better, which most of us are, right? Like we're just trying to make better decisions, and it's so easy to get caught up in all these sustainability movements and think that, a lot of these circularity initiatives and stuff are all really great and everything is moving forward and better. So I guess what I've kind of felt, especially more recently, is that we really do need that like top down, bottom up, sideways, always kind of approach to changing things. Like we really do need those systemic changes and regulations. We also really need just more education and awareness. We need more transparency. We need more like we need more everything, but like what I'm saying is we can't just rely on, and we never really could rely on, but at least it felt a little bit easier to do. We can't just rely on like consumers voting with your dollars, right? Like that's really only going to go so far. And especially now with how much greenwashing there is, how much misinformation there is, how hard it can be to navigate some of those things. Like we really do need those other elements, and better regulation and stuff. So I've been really wanting to kind of branch out and see what other parts of the industry I can maybe do something regarding changing. And so Fashion Revolution being part of that has been really great. Also trying to like connect more with brands who are doing good things and like talk about how they're messaging what they're doing in a way that's more, I guess, educational, more transparent. There's a really weird thing. Well, I guess that's not weird. I understand where it comes from. But a lot of brands don't want to talk about things that they're not good at or they're not perfect at yet, because I think they know that a lot of people are going to like criticize them for it, or maybe pick them apart about it, whatever it is. Like they don't want to get any negative attention. So if there's a brand out there that's maybe doing some great things regarding sustainability or regarding ethics, but working on some other things, they don't ever want to talk about anything that's not finished yet or in process or, not perfect yet. And I think that's really unfortunate because we need more of that nuance. No brand is ever going to be 100% sustainable. Even though some brands do call themselves 100% sustainable, which is a pet peeve of mine. And I wish that more brands and companies were talking about the things that they are working on and that they don't have right yet, and that they're, trying to find solutions to, instead of just like, not wanting that information out there. So that's also something that I've been encouraging, at least the brands and companies that I am in contact with, just trying to find out a little bit more about what's going on and how they're navigating the industry from their perspective, and ways that we can have more nuanced conversations, which hopefully also highlight more issues with greenwashing and what's going on behind the scenes. Yes, you can definitely ask questions here. So I think I don't know, and I'd be really curious how you guys feel about content on this channel regarding stuff that ranges anywhere from, fun stuff, I guess. So talking, styling videos or capsule wardrobe content or reviews or thrift transformations, that kind of stuff, to how interested you are. And it's okay if you're not interested. It's totally okay. But how interested you are in maybe the more nitty gritty fashion industry stuff, digging into some of those harder topics, those ones that don't have nice, clean cut answers that aren't like, yeah, I guess how interested you guys are in that kind of content. And if you're not, if it's too if it's too much, if it's not something you really, I get wanting to come to YouTube, coming to platforms like this, and just like wanting to have fun and be entertained. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just really curious to know if you guys are interested in really those like deep dive topics. Like I've done I'm trying to think of what I've done some on, just like different aspects of the fashion industry, talking about like, I did a video a while ago on like women in the fashion industry. I did one on modern slavery and like what that involves. Those kinds of things. Yeah, I don't know. Do you guys like that kind of content? Or would you rather more, I guess, more fun content? I don't know. Let me know. Yeah, so that's kind of what's coming up, I guess. I'm really excited about building out our writing team to give more helpful stuff and do like just have more content that's helpful to you guys and that you find interesting, and then to also be able to do some more fun stuff on the channel and some more research pieces and some more things that I think are really important. Okay, that's great. That's good to hear that you guys like the deep dives. Okay, that's nice to hear. Yeah. I can agree. Like, I feel the same way too. Oftentimes I come to YouTube and it's like, I just want something fun and entertaining, but yeah. Sometimes it's really important to learn about some of these things, and I also have a hard time with like heavier topics because they are depressing. Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. And I agree. I think like having that balance is really important. And then, yeah, just trying to find, I guess, a way to navigate, doing both of those things and finding that balance, producing content that's really, I guess at the end of the day, I want whatever I put out there to be helpful in some way. Whether that's more like education based or just maybe it's like some fun outfit inspiration, whatever it is, I do want it to be helpful. I would be interested. Yeah. I do also want to have more conversations, which is something that I've been thinking about coming up in the new year. So I've done a few like live streams with special guests. So like I talked, was it last year? I can't even remember when it was, but I've talked with a representative from GOTS all about the GOTS certification, what that means. I've talked with somebody about their B Corp certification, what B Corp means, all that kind of stuff. We've had conversations before on the channel with, I've had a few other guests on the channel, not many, but it's always been really nice to kind of dive deeper into topics with somebody who is more knowledgeable about them than I am. So yeah, I would love to do some more of that, and hopefully I can find some good people to connect with and to discuss those kinds of things. And I think just having more time, so like bringing on more writers, so I have a bit more time to work on some of those projects and research some of those projects, will be really good. And I hope that you guys are excited about that. And I also, so it's great to hear that you guys are interested in some of those, I guess, heavier topics, more like education-based topics. And I'd also love to know like what sort of fun topics you guys also like. Like, are you more interested in styling videos or capsule wardrobe content, or maybe like thrift transformation, sewing, kind of creative videos like that? Or, yeah, what else? Let me know. Or like, oh, sorry, I hit the mic again. Or more like DIY, upcycling type of things. Yeah, let me know, I guess, what you would most like to see. Sustainability of the DIY fashion industry, that's interesting. Yeah, it's honestly like, you saying that, my immediate thought was like, oh my gosh, that's going to be so hard because it's so hard to trace the supply chain of most fabrics. And I haven't really done anything with yarns, but I assume it's probably similar. Like, it's surprising. If you go to a brand, they are way more likely to be able to trace their fabric supply chain than like fabric retailer, like somebody who just sells fabric, is able to trace their supply chain. So I do, along those lines, I do have a blog post where there are places, I have like a roundup of places that you can source more sustainable and ethical fabrics and yarns as well. I think there's like a few yarn and knitting options. So check that out if you're interested. But yeah, that would be really interesting to do. And I would definitely have to do a lot of research into that, because from my sort of preliminary knowledge on that is it's really hard. It's really hard to trace fabrics, because a lot of these retailers just go to like fabric and textile, suppliers, trade shows, and they're often middlemen then to the mills as well. So there's like multiple stages of middlemen between like the fabric retailer and the actual mill who produce the fabric, unless you're, buying something more specialized or whatever. But typically your average fabric store will have fabric from all kinds of places, and who knows who made it. So that would be an interesting thing to kind of try to get a bit more information on. And yeah, I'll for sure keep that in mind. That's good. Now my brain is already like thinking about how to dig into a topic like that. I hesitate as well. I'm sorry if this is completely off topic, but I hesitate to kind of talk about the unsustainable aspects of DIY fashion, because I don't want to like discourage people from doing it. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I talk about, fabric from your average fabric stores isn't very sustainable, I still think it's better, even if you're using an unsustainable fabric, to make your own clothes versus like buying a lot of clothes. So yeah, it's a bit tricky, because it's like, yeah, it would be great to kind of dig into that topic, but I don't want people to come away from something like that feeling like, oh, I shouldn't make my own things, or I shouldn't like go buy this fabric that I like to make my clothes. So yeah, I don't know. That was just, I think there's a way that I could definitely dig into that, and I will keep it on my list. Thrift transformation styling videos, that's great. Sewing DIYs. Oh my gosh, a 10 by 10. I haven't done a 10 by 10 in years. I should do that again. Those were so fun. I love doing those challenges. Okay, thanks for the idea. Yeah, you're right. I haven't done one of those in ages. Yeah, I definitely want to share more like outfit of the day stuff, probably over on my Instagram, or maybe as YouTube shorts. Oh, guys, do you like the YouTube shorts? Like, I know YouTube now is trying to compete with Instagram Reels and TikTok. And so they have the YouTube shorts. I've posted like a couple of mine on YouTube, but I don't know. I don't know if I should be posting them there or not, or just keeping them to Instagram. I don't know if anybody watches them. I don't think I've really watched shorts on YouTube. I don't know. But yeah, I'll probably do more like outfit of the day stuff there. Sustainable clothing and accessories, styling one-piece multiple ways. I love doing that too. And I think I'll probably be doing some thrift shopping for spring and summer, because there's definitely likely going to be some new pieces that I need. So maybe I'll do some thrifting videos. Oh, you do like YouTube shorts. Okay, that's good to hear, because I never know if I should like invest time into these new things, because you never know like what's going to happen with them. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, DIY, you do really appreciate your clothes. And there's so many fun things you can do with DIY. Like I constantly have this like huge list of projects that I want to make and things that I want to sew, and I slowly chip away at it. But I think if I'm making some more videos around it too, it gives me a little bit more motivation to get it done. And so just as like a totally random side note, I wish I had them here to show you, but my daughter is really into this book series about like a little mouse and a little frog and a little snake and their friends, and they go on all kinds of adventures. And I had got her for Christmas like a tiny little stuffed mouse, and then I wanted to make the other two friends, so I made her like a little frog and a little snake to go with them. And then I just was inspired and I made them all little winter clothes. So I sewed like a tiny coat, and I sewed a little sweater and a little tiny pants and a little scarf and a little hat. I think I made them all scarves, like knit tiny scarves, and it was so much fun. It was like a really, really fun project that I did in December, was just like making all these tiny little clothes for these little, just little toys. But it also like, it was just fun because I could make stuff that was like whatever, because it's for a toy. It's not like anybody's going to wear it. So it's fun to get creative with it. And I was thinking more about how if I'm upcycling stuff, especially, it just feels like there's less at stake. If it is just kind of a creative idea, especially if it's stuff that probably otherwise is going to be trashed or be recycled, to just kind of, like get creative with it, make something not necessarily knowing that this is going to be a piece that I'm going to have in my wardrobe for years and wear all the time, right? So I want to do more like upcycling transformation videos like that, as just a space to really get creative, have fun with it, design some really fun stuff, without that sort of, like, am I going to wear this for years and years, that you have when you're like buying fabric and really planning out something. And so I hope to do some really fun stuff like that. And okay, always watch your shorts. Thanks. How to shop for high quality pieces. That's a good one. Yeah. I do have like a thrift shopping video about like how I shop for thrift stuff, and like has some quality checks in it. I've also got a video about what to look for in terms of quality and clothing. So I do have those videos, but they are quite old now, because I made those, oh my gosh, like 5 or 6, maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, I think. So maybe those videos could use an update. That's another thing I should look back at, because oftentimes I feel like, I've already said this or talked about this, but it could have been like 5-6 years ago, and now that video is really old, and it would be good to maybe update some of my older content. So yeah, that's something else that I'll also kind of keep in mind, is maybe doing some newer versions of some of those pieces. I also have been thinking about maybe doing a newer version. I have like a fabric video all about the sustainability of different fabrics, but that is also quite an old video, and there's for sure updated information. There's also some fabrics now, which I never included in that video because they weren't really common. So it might be good to kind of update that video as well with some more information. Oh, that's a good idea. Pinterest inspired with your own wardrobe. That's so fun. I like that a lot. Yeah. So I guess overall, I'm really excited to do both some more fun content and to do some more, I guess, researched, deep dive kind of content. I'm really excited to give you guys more like helpful resources, guides, roundups, that kind of thing with a team of writers. And yeah, overall, I think I feel like a bit more, like I've kind of got my footings back in terms of what I want to do with my blog, what I want to do with my channel. Like I said, like this past couple of years, not only with just like the panini stuff, but yeah, just trying to like navigate it with also like having a toddler and like a wacky work schedule. And really trying to like struggling with things like the algorithm and the kinds of content that perform well versus the content that does, that whole thing. Like it's really been unmotivating to try to navigate that, but I feel like I've got a much better plan. I've got more of a direction and a better feeling as to how to actually navigate that. And so, yeah, so I do feel like I've got a bit more of like my footings back in terms of what I want to do in 2022. And I am going to wrap this up. I do want to just thank you guys so much for watching my videos, for also coming to hang out. Like, it's so nice to just talk. I know that we're not like talking, but seeing your comments and stuff in the chat, like it feels like we're hanging out and talking. Thanks for joining me by my cozy little fire. And yeah, and for watching my videos. And if you've been around for years, I know some of you, I definitely recognize your names, and thank you so much for hanging around and watching my videos and joining me on this crazy, bumpy, slow fashion journey that we're all trying to figure out. I'm really excited for the new year. And I know that, like, you know, there's that whole new year, like, optimism thing. I was not feeling it this year in terms of, like, life stuff. I'm just like, yeah, it's another day. But I really feel it regarding, like, my channel and my blog and all that kind of stuff and the content that we have coming up. I've just been having so much fun, like, planning things and trying to sort things out. So yeah, thank you guys. And also, again, if you're interested in writing for a blog, let me know. There's a page on my website that you can get more information about that. And yeah, thank you guys again. I'm going to wrap up. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. It was great to chat with you. Also, let me know. You can still like add stuff in the chat, but let me know if you want more live streams. I don't know. Is this format fun or not? Let me know. All right. Bye, guys. Thank you so much. Wait, here we go. Okay. Bye.